All right, we're live. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the live stream chat for the 43rd Annual Mount Taylor Quadrathlon. I'm Kendra Brown, Assistant Race Director. I'm here with Danielle Gaines. She can introduce herself.
I am the race director for this year's quad.
And tonight we're going to talk about logistics, safety, and rules, and all of those things that you don't care nearly as much about as knowing whether or not we're going to have a ski course. So we'll start with that. The bad news is we don't have a great answer for you. As it stands, the uphill ski portion of the course is pretty dry. We're down to dirt for pretty long sections, and it's not great. Did I say downhill or uphill?
Downhill.
I'm sorry. The uphill is dry as it stands. The downhill on the alternative course looks great. I skied it last week before we had these 60-degree days, but even still, it was wonderful. That said, we're due for some snow, and we're just going to show you guys the forecast so that you understand what we're working with in making our decision. It is possible that on Mount Taylor, we'll have 9 inches of snow fall between Friday afternoon and Saturday morning when the race starts. We believe that would be plenty for us to host the ski portion of the race, and we also have the ability to groom it in time with our new snowcat that we've hardly been able to use since we got it. The problem is we don't know for sure if that snow is going to fall, and if it does fall, it won't fall until we won't accumulate until Friday afternoon. The things that we're considering are the fact that the downhill, which is the part where we're worried about safety, looks good. It's really just the uphill and being able to navigate around rocks and dirt patches that we need some help with. But because you're moving so much slower on the uphill, you have the ability to negotiate those features, and it's just not a safety concern. So having said all of that, oh no, I didn't share. Let me do that again. I'm sorry. There it is. Okay. All right. Now you all are looking at the forecast that we're looking at in making this decision. So this is the point forecast for the top of Mount Taylor, where we're seeing 9 inches falling by 6 a.m. Saturday morning. So we wanted to share that with you so that you understand that this isn't straightforward. Last year, we were in a similar position. We canceled the ski, and then we got enough snow the night before that we probably could have skied. And we got a lot of feedback from the racers that you really want to ski if you can. And so our plan is we intend to ski on Saturday. We want you to also be prepared that if the storm doesn't come, we will just have you snowshoe the ski portion. And for soloists, that's no big deal. You'll just put your snowshoes on rather than skis and continue up the second half of the mountain. For team members, we understand that could be a pretty big problem, because if you're a team member who's planning to ski, you might not own snowshoes. So if that's the case for you or somebody you know, write to us, either email or Facebook or whatever. We have enough pairs of snowshoes gathered that we can loan anyone who needs them snowshoes the day before. So that was lots of words to basically recap and say, we're planning to ski. Pray for snow. And on Friday, even as late as Saturday morning, we may tell you to pivot and put your snowshoes on instead of skis. So comment in the chat if you're excited about that. And I guess if you're not, too. All right, getting back into the meat of the meeting. So we're going to talk about race weekend logistics, safety rules, and then we'll open it to discussion. So put your questions in the chat, and we'll just take them one by one at the end of the meeting. All right, and now I'm going to kick it to Danielle to talk about the check-in process, which will also have some changes this year compared to past years.
So normally our check-in was at our county complex. We will actually be across the street, set up in a tent where normally our beer tent is. And so if you need the address for where check-in is, it's at 525 West High Street. And so we will be there Friday from 3 to 9. Make sure to come check in with us. And then you will go across the street to 620 West High Street, which is the fire department, and check in your equipment. That's the same place that we normally have always had it at.
Here.
So soloists, make sure to bring your bike run drop bag with your running shoes, cold weather gear, yak tracks if you want to run in those, your ski transition, cold weather gear, snowshoe equipment, and snowshoes with your shoes all in the backpack. All the gear will be organized and secured with a color-coded duct tape during the race check-in.
And I can show you what that will look. Don't feel like you have to memorize this, but so you know, the whole equipment marking and packaging thing is kind of complicated and intimidating. But if you want to prepare for it, you can look on the website under the equipment tab and understand how we do it. We'll also help you at check-in on Friday night, but basically just do you want to run it down real quick what they do?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll bind all of your stuff together. So you're going to make a couple piles of gear. If you're a soloist, if you're a team, this is easy. If you're a soloist, make a couple piles of gear. You're going to have one pile with your running and biking gear, run up, bike down. That's going to go to the bike run transition. Make another pile of gear that's going to go to the run ski transition. And that's going to be for your skiing, snowshoeing, and biking down. Hold on, I think we might have a technical problem. Our screen is dark. Can somebody comment in the chat if you can see us, hear us?
Stop sharing.
Hit stop sharing.
There you go.
Can you see
Yeah.
do you guys see our webpage?
You did a minute
Huh.
ago. Okay.
Oh, I can't click off of it. Okay, no problem. So this is the page you can go to on our website to understand how to do your gear. So bike run bag, transition bag, run ski transition bag. In your bike run bag, you'll put gear you want for the run up, or maybe some extra dry socks for the bike down. Think through your day and what you might want to have in that bag. And then for the run ski bag, you'll have, if you're a soloist, skis with skins on, snowshoes in a backpack because you're going to carry those up, and then extra layers because we're looking at a pretty cold and windy day. You'll bind all of your stuff together in gray duct tape. Don't do this at home. You can do it at check-in. Bind it together in gray, and then we use this color coding system to label the equipment with your number, and then the colors tell us where to send your stuff. So check out this webpage if you want to learn about it before, but if not, just show up and we'll help you figure it out. Okay, go for it.
So if you are on a team, your runner does not need to turn in their gear. And then the snowshoer and skier turn in your equipment together because they will be shuttled together. And also just keep in mind that Grants doesn't have any bike, ski, or athletic equipment shops to purchase equipment. So come prepared, and if you have any questions, let us know. You can Facebook us or email us or put them in the chat. And also, we won't do any equipment check-in Saturday. Make sure you have everything Friday because we start sending it all out Friday night. Friday night also, 5:30 to 8, our Grants High School will have their spaghetti dinner fundraiser. All participants will get a ticket to this, and if anyone wants to purchase an extra ticket, it'll be a $10 donation. And that is at 500 Mountain Road. But you can find all of this on the schedule section of the website. Alrighty, so Saturday, the 14th, we're going to talk about the start line process. Make sure that you have your timing chip on. So if you're on a team, make sure your biker has it. We will be starting our start line same place as always, at the 525 West High Street. So it'll be the road in between where we used to check in and where we're going to be checking in. It is a mass start. So if you are a soloist or on a team, everyone will get there and it'll start at 8 o'clock. There is parking available down in the downtown area, but there will be barriers. So make sure that you arrive early, have everything that you need, and there'll be plenty of us there to help you guys.
Okay,
shuttles.
All right, I am going to talk about how you get on the mountain on race day if you're a volunteer or a member of a team. So I'll start by saying that we really need help with volunteers on the mountain. So if you're traveling with friends or family who are coming to hang out for the day, they might consider going up the mountain to help. And we can take volunteers where it's a little warmer, either in town or at the bike run. Or if they want to brave a pretty rugged but fun day, we can get them all the way up the mountain to run ski, snowshoe, or maybe even the summit if they wanted. So volunteers will get on a bus at 6 a.m. sharp. And this is a different shuttle schedule than we've done in the past. We used to run a bunch of shuttles, but because it's been a tough year and registration is a little bit low, we're just running 3 buses total. So volunteers, get on a bus at 6 a.m. If you are a skier or a snowshoer, you need to get on the bus at 6:45 a.m. And there's only going to be 1 bus for you, so don't wait. And then runners will get on a 7 a.m. bus. So we strongly recommend that you get on the first bus that you're supposed to. If you're going to the top half of the mountain, 6:45. If you're a runner, 7 o'clock, and don't wait around because you might, if you're like a snowshoer, don't wait for that 7 o'clock bus because there might not be space for you. Another thing that we wanted to talk with you about is that we are extending the registration deadline, primarily because the snow has just been such a drag this year. And we know that we've been a little bit flaky about our plans. And we understand that that's a problem for you. So typically we close it tomorrow night. Instead, we're going to keep it open until noon on Friday. You'll still have to bring your gear and everything before 9 p.m. that night, but we'll let you sign up online by noon. So tell your friends. Okay, got through shuttles. Let's talk about, regarding the shuttles, we can't guarantee any shuttles will come down before 3 p.m. We have to be very thoughtful about traffic on the course with bikes, especially if the weather's bad. So anybody who's taking a shuttle up, prepare for a long day. Take extra warm clothes, maybe some blankets. You can take a chair if you want, like whatever. Just be prepared to stay there until 3 o'clock and don't get frustrated if we don't let you down. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about the course itself, what it looks like across each of the 4 events. So this is as you know, hopefully you know, it's a 4-discipline race from the town of Grants, downtown Grants, to the summit of Mount Taylor and back down. There's no mile markers on the course. Is that right? No mile markers this year? Okay, there won't be mile markers on the course, so use your Garmin or your phone or whatever to track your progress. And all of the major turns will be marked and staffed by volunteers. So you don't feel like you've got to understand where every turn is, but I'm just going to do a rough overview of how it works. There's also GPX files, or 1 GPX file right now that can be downloaded with the entire course on our website under the courses tab.
And we'll have this year, the timer will have, if you want, I believe it's called Race Joy.
Oh, for live tracking?
Yes.
Cool.
So if you, when you get your timing, all of that, Josh will have all that information. So you can have an app open on your phone and you can be tracked. But service can be a little bit spotty. So just keep that in mind. But we're going to try that this year.
Awesome. Cool. All right. So let's start with the bike. And I'm going to share my map again. Hopefully you guys can see it. Let's see. Share. Nope. I'm checking to make sure it showed up. Not good, because we need it. We changed our streaming plan to try to make things easier, and I think we made them a lot harder.
What did we do last time? Stop streaming, and then
I just clicked buttons and then it started working.
There we go.
I think we might just be lagging.
There, it's on.
Okay. Comment if my map goes away. Or comment if you can see the map. Okay. So race starts in downtown Grants. Oh, see, let's see here. Let's try this. We've been more professional in the past. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah. Race starts downtown Grants. You will then proceed up High Street with a police escort. So this is all just on city streets. and then down First Street, across Roosevelt, and onto Lobo Canyon, which is the main paved road up the mountain. You'll then proceed 13 miles and 1,700 feet in climbing to what we call the end of the pavement, or the bike run transition, which is right here. So it's basically just paved road climbing, 13 miles. The bulk of that climb occurs in the last 3 miles. So you might think things are going pretty well until like mile 10, and then it gets really hard. So save some energy for that last steep 3 miles from Coal Mine Campground to the transition area. When you show up at the transition, there will be a team of helpers to grab your bike from you and bring your running gear, your bag with running gear. You'll then put your running shoes on and run 5 miles up a gravel road to the bike run transition. That's another 1,200 feet of climbing. Right now, that road is mostly dry with a few places that are snow-packed and icy. We expect that to change by Saturday. We highly recommend that you have some kind of traction device on your shoes, whether it's Yak Tracks or something like that. Some people in the past have gone the really lightweight route, and they actually put screws in the bottoms of their shoes, but that was kind of more popular before Yak Tracks. But either way, know that it could be pretty darn slippery, and there's some decently steep climbs in there. So you want some traction. All right, at the end of the run, you'll have arrived at the run ski transition. And at that point, you will hopefully be grabbing your skis, which somebody will bring to you. And you'll grab your skis with your snowshoes in a backpack, snowshoes to that final transition, the ski snowshoe. You carry them up there. We don't have the ability to get gear that high up the mountain. So at Run Ski, backpack with snowshoes, and you put your skis on and exit out the right side, looking up the hill. So skiers right, and start climbing. You will then continue on through a place we call the First Meadow. I think it's even labeled, actually. And then up the infamous Heartbreak Hill right at the end of that course to the ski snowshoe transition. At that point, you'll already have your snowshoes on your back, so you'll just leave your skis, throw them down. A volunteer will help you find a spot in the snow, put your snowshoes on, and then you'll traverse out to the face of the mountain, which is fairly flat. And then you've got a steep climb right up the face of Mount Taylor. I think it's 800 feet of elevation in half a mile, something like that. The snowshoe overall is somebody's telling me some information. I've done it so many times, I don't know what he's telling me.
1.8.
1.8 miles. Anyway, we are expecting extremely high winds on Saturday. And usually the winds are the worst going up the face of the mountain. So even if you're warm when you show up to the ski snowshoe transition, grab an extra layer and throw it in your backpack. Make sure you've got sunglasses or something, because if it's really blowing hard, the snow hurts when it hits your eyes. We will also be prepared for whiteout conditions with extra signage and extra volunteers if that's what happens. All right, so then at that point, you've gotten halfway through the race. You're at the summit. You can celebrate. There will be volunteers, a little bit of water. And then we probably, if it's windy and cold, just dive back down onto the downhill, because the downhill is this piece here that's protected on the north side, and the wind should be a lot better. You can warm up a little bit on your way down. And then continue back to the ski snowshoe transition again. Put your skis back on, and you'll start to head down the mountain. It's a little bit flat to start. You might be doing a little bit of skating or herringboning to get out of there, and then you'll start to head down. This map, as it's shown here and as it's shown on the website, depicts our traditional course. Because snow conditions are bad, we are going to use a slight deviation, which we call the alternate course. Some of you might have used it before. Somewhere right around where my cursor is, you'll just kind of dive down the hill. It's still switchbacks and stuff, so it's not steeper. But you'll be skiing in between the two red lines here, just because there's a lot more snow. And then at Spruce Tank, which is where my cursor is, you join back with the old course, and then down the canyon to Run Ski. At that point, it's just reverse course all the way back to town. You'll meet your bag again here. Volunteers will bring it to you. And then at the end of the run, bike run transition, you'll meet your bike. You can leave all of your running gear behind, and you'll probably be facing a stiff headwind all the way back into town. So makes for a tough but rewarding finish back in Grants. Okay, that's the plan.
And if you are on a team, make sure to hand off your timing chip
Yes.
to your
Yep.
partner. Don't forget that, please.
Okay.
So we'll have some aid stations along the way. They'll have tailwind, water, peanut butter and jelly, stingers. There is a restroom at Bike Run. Is there one at the cattle guard?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And at the cattle guard and Run Ski, we'll have volunteers there to help you, but please know that this is self-sufficient. We'll help you as much as possible. So if someone doesn't get to you, please be respectful and we'll try our best. We have all of our race rules on the website, so if you get a chance, make sure to check that out. And then for the finish, make sure to stick around, hang out. We will have a beer tent. So our registration tent will then change into the beer tent. So make sure to bring your ID if you want that. We'll have 2 or 3 food trucks there at the bottom. Make sure to bring some money. For that, turn in your timing chip back to the timers, and then at least by 5:30, we'll have our equipment back down, and we will have it laid out in front of the mining museum. So it'll be directly behind where that tent is.
Okay, back to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's talk about awards. Awards ceremony will be at 5 p.m. at the registration/beer tent. Hopefully the weather holds up good enough that we can all just kind of stand outside. We will be awarding prizes for soloists, and more than soloists, but for soloists, we'll be awarding cash prizes. Male and female, first, second, and third will receive cash prizes. First place, $1,000, male, female. Second place, $750, male, female. Third place, $500 for male and female. And then we will also recognize teams and pairs. We'll award the overall winners, so not age groupers, but overall winners for first, second, third, male, female, co-ed, pairs, and teams. Yeah, so that's the plan with awards. We don't typically start them early because we need time to get our race crew off the mountain, and then we also want you to be able to plan. If it's cold and you need to go like shower and get warmer clothes at the hotel, you can do that. Let's talk about volunteers. As I mentioned, we really need help with volunteers, both on race day and year round. So if you know somebody who would like to volunteer race day, please send us an email or catch up with us on Facebook or Instagram. And we can send you wherever you want to go. We need helpers in town. We need them the day before. We can really give you whatever kind of job you want. And then beyond that, the quad board, of course, the quad is a nonprofit that's been around for 43 years. The quad board meets year round, once a month, and we always need more dedicated folks to help. Whatever your skill set is, if it's doing work like machining and working on things, we have to keep our snowcats and our trailers up. If it's accounting, we need help with that. Really, whatever it is, we would love to have some help year round, and we have a virtual option for all of our meetings. And so even if you live out of town, we'd be willing and happy to have you on the board as a year-round volunteer. So catch up with either of us race day if that sounds interesting to you. Let's talk a little bit about safety. The weather is looking pretty unpredictable on Saturday, and probably windy, cold, maybe a little bit of sunshine, but we need to be ready for it to be a hard day. I think it's easy for all of us to get a little complacent. If you've done the quad before, you might have had like a 60-degree day where you were wearing t-shirts up to the summit, and those are great. But we also need to understand that the weather and the conditions can be pretty threatening at 11,000 feet, and we have to be prepared for that. So we do our part by having search and rescue, medical volunteers, transportation like snowcats and snowmobiles to get people off the mountain if we need to. But we need you to do your part in being prepared. And that means having layers with you, even if you don't think you need them, you feel like you're warm. We want you to throw in an extra jacket, an extra pair of gloves, because that helps us to not have to rescue too many people day of. So be ready for bad weather. And then other things that are always threats to us is just like yield to traffic. We are able to limit traffic on the bike course, but people who live up in that area are still allowed to go up and down the mountain. So just be careful if you see a car, hold your side of the road. And then also ride and ski within your abilities, of course. Helmets are required on the bikes. Helmets are not required on the ski, but if you feel like you're a sketchy skier, you might think about it. The last thing I wanted to mention is that because we're looking at some weather the night before, DOT has to, like by law, treat the road with traction control senders. And that's not a great mix when we're talking about road bikes with skinny tires. So expect that if there's any amount of precipitation Thursday or Friday, there's going to be senders on the road, and that's going to make it slick. So ride with caution. Okay, last thing we're going to talk about is Kids Quad, which I'd like to give an earnest thank you to BHP, who has sponsored the Kids Quad in its entirety, which is allowing kids to race for free. So no registration fee for any kid. And the registration for that will be, it's online, open now.
It is. So it's on the same website that we have the regular registration on.
Okay. So you can register. That's best case. Just register your kids tonight. But if not, can they register Friday night as well?
Yeah. So Friday night, Sherry and Gilbert, they'll be downtown with us, and you can register there with them, or early in the morning.
Okay.
But if you can register prior, that would probably be the best.
Okay. Great. And then Kids Quad starts, staggered start, like we stagger all the age groups. But we start at 9:30 a.m. We start with the oldest kids, 11 and 12-year-olds, right at 9:30. And then we'll go 9 and 10-year-olds at 9:45, 7 and 8-year-olds at 10, 5 and 6-year-olds at 10:15, and 3 to 4-year-olds at 10:30. And that schedule's on the website as well under Kids Quad tab. Okay, that's all we have to share with you, but I know that we have some comments dropping into the chat, so we'll check those out. And then please, if you do have additional questions, type them now and we'll get to them. So looks like we've got some thumbs up on our decision to wait till the last minute on the ski, which we're glad to hear because it's been pretty stressful. We want you to be able to ski because we think that's part of what makes this so special. So thank you for hanging in there with us. All right, Samantha Darling wants to know if the ski down is steep or icy, is it acceptable to remove skis and shuffle down and put them back on? So I've been there. I know the fear. The first thing you can do is leave your skis on for the whole ski down. If you're really scared, that's an option. Did I say that right? Leave skins on. Leave skins on if you are scared. Our rules state that you must cross the finish line with one ski on. So do with that what you will about what you do between the two checkpoints, I guess. But you do have to have one ski on when you cross into the transition area. Next person, Van Slutenneck. Can you tell us a bit more about the alternate ski route? How does it compare to the traditional route in terms of speed and steepness? There's some tighter switchbacks. There's more snow. It shouldn't, let's see, we have the snowcat guy here behind the screen. So he can tell us, do you think it'll be less icy than they're used to seeing?
It'll be less icy than they're used to seeing. It'll be faster.
Okay.
It's more of a, I would say, it's just faster.
Fast, like their time between A and B is faster?
Time between A and B will be faster.
Yeah.
It's wider, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Except for when you go into the corners, the hairpin corners, just be prepared for those. But you'll see them coming up, and it's more cross slope, would you say?
Yeah, it's a little bit banked
It's got a little camber.
awkwardly in spots, yeah.
But we'll do our best to get it as level as we can and make sure that it's safe for you all to go down. But it will be way less icy than the road ever is.
Cool. Not sure how well you could hear him. He's kind of sitting behind, but he basically said way less ice than we sometimes have, should be wider than we're used to on the main road, kind of off camber in spots, and not really steeper, but I think it's less mileage overall, so you'll have a faster ski time. And I've skied it multiple times during the race, and it's fine. Like, it's the same challenges that we have on the main road, but maybe just less slick. So I wouldn't be too afraid of this alternate route. Okay. I can only pizza. Yeah, totally. I think I could not even pizza when I did it the first time, and I only crashed maybe 6 times. Yeah, totally safe to ski. Although, person who's asking if you can only pizza, the big differentiator is if you're on alpine skis, like AT skis, or traditional cross-country skis, skate skis, or metal edge cross-country skis. If you're on old school cross-country skis without metal edges, it will
keep your skins on.
Keep your skins on. It could be pretty awful. The way we've heard people define this is that it's like a black diamond cross-country ski route or like a green downhill, like alpine skiing route. So having metal edges makes all the difference. So if you're the pizza guy or gal, leave your skins on or make sure you have some edges to dig in. Another question is, do most people use classic cross-country skis or alpine touring skis? It's totally a mixed bag now. It used to be all classic. A few skaters, like the fasties, would run skate skis, which is incredible. It used to mostly be like metal edge, like the Rossignol BC 70s they used to be super popular. But now that AT is like backcountry skiing is so popular, we're seeing, do you guys think half?
I would say it's more than half now.
Maybe more than half on like a backcountry, like pin binding type setup. But both are allowed. And if you have both, just make a decision about your abilities. Yeah. Do you want to prioritize lightweight? Like if you have Skimo skis, that's probably the winner. But if you have like a heavy AT setup, just what do you want? More confidence on the down or not to have to lug them up the hill? So check out the website. We have like a long write-up about that. And really it comes down to pick your poison. All right. Question about how frequent the water stations are. Within each discipline, so on each segment, there's generally no water. The only exception to that is on the run. We have one extra water stop. So like you'll do 13 miles of biking and then you'll hit water at the transition.
Mm-hmm.
Then you'll do 2 miles of running and there's kind of like a makeshift aid station there. We call it the First Cattle Guard, or we usually call it the Rodeo Club aid station because they've always helped us there. And then you'll go like 3 more miles, hit water again. No water on the ski up, so that's 2 miles without water. And then no mile to the summit, it's another mile without water. So basically the water is at the transitions.
Yeah, you forgot about
I
Tim's.
forgot about the Edge of the World party. So if you've never done the race before, you are in for basically the best treat of all, I think. We have a party going at a place called the Edge of the World, which is right below the climb to the face. So they usually have a little bar set up, and it's a pretty fun time. They
have costumes every year.
They are good vibes. So you have
know.
to decide. You have like 20 miles to think about this before you get there. But do you partake on the way up or do you partake on the way down? And I was always a way down person.
Down.
But you decide. All right. That's all the questions. We'll give you guys a couple seconds to put more questions in the chat in case you haven't had time yet. But I think that covers it. Do you have anything else to add?
No, and I get whenever we make the decision, either way, you'll hear from us if we're keeping it ski or if we do change. And so we'll post it on Facebook. We'll send an email through Run Sign Up.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, you'll have something.
Yeah, and we're hoping we have a sense for what's happening by Friday afternoon. But the problem is the storm is supposed to hit Friday, like while we're sleeping. So Chad, our snowcat guy, is going to have a long night. Have kids in the 7 or 8 group use training wheels? They're certainly allowed to. I don't
think that there's any rules for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so
yeah, they're more than welcome to use that if that's what they're confident with. Person's asking if we should drop off. Yeah, bring your ski gear and drop it off either way, and just be ready to not use it. And if you're on a team, if you're a skier, we'll have you send both up on Friday, so you have both options. Yeah. And there's only not that many people in the live stream, so if you have any friends that are racing, update them on the plan with the ski. We're also going to recap the hot items here and post them on Facebook and email, but just in case. Okay. I think that's it. Thanks, guys. See you Friday.
bye.